sippets. Who can we trust today when we just let anyone come to this country, regardless of their merits, regardless of who they're connected to? I think that says a lot. And we have to reevaluate birthright citizenship should be reviewed. But also when it comes down to people moving here from seeking asylum, using the benefits of their families to become dual citizens or have green cards and visas, I think that we have to start looking thoroughly at people's background. Marco Rubio just revoked the green card for an Iranian general's niece. Let's review.
Hey, boss, he ain't working.
More needs to be done when granting any legal status.
There needs to be a good scrutiny of what these people are, what they stand for, what their views on, and whether they're here in the United States seeking asylum or seeking a normal life, or whether they're here as potentially agents of that foreign regime that could do harm to the U.S. We have seen family members of Iranian regime officials living very good and lavish lives, whether it's in the U.S. or in the South or in the Mediterranean or in other countries. They certainly seem to be benefiting from money that is being sent to them to subsist on by the Iran.
And I believe that plays a mighty role in what we're seeing today. It's either people moving over here to the United States of America, or they're sending money back to their home countries instead of letting that American dollar continue to stay in rotation in America, or vice versa. They're using their money and assets to live a lavish life here in the United States. And I'm not necessarily against that, right? But wherever you show your allegiance to is a significant issue and problem. It's mighty funny that people want to be over here but hate America. It's mighty funny that people, just like people can come over here and have so much pride in their own country, but us Americans, we can't take pride in where we're from. But other people take all advantages of it. And I think that's a problem. But we'll get there. Let's keep it going.
This repeatedly. I don't know why it's so hard for some to comprehend it, so let me repeat it again. A visa, no one's entitled to a visa. There is no constitutional right to a visa. Okay, a visa is a permission to enter our country as a visitor. If you enter our country as a visitor, and as a visitor in our country, be it a student, a tourist, a journalist, whatever you want to be, and you undertake activities that are against the national interest, the national security of the United States, we will take away your visa. In fact, if we knew you were going to do it, we probably wouldn't have given you your visa.
Top story tonight, the niece of a slain Iranian general and her daughter arrested by ICE here in Los Angeles after their green cards were revoked. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says they voiced strong support for the Iranian regime. Fox 7's Rachel Aragon joins us now live from Tahunga, where the two had been living. Rachel.
Yeah, with this war in Iran escalating, continuing as we speak right now, Susan, a DHS spokesperson recently stressing that holding a green card here in the U.S., they're calling this, of course, a privilege. They also stress that anyone who poses a serious threat with that status could risk having their legal status here revoked.
Actually, I was surprised, and it was quiet everywhere. So.
Residents living along this serene and quiet Tahunga neighborhood shocked to learn about their next-door neighbors, the niece and grandniece of slain Iranian general Qasem Soleimani. The two were taken into custody by ICE on Friday.
I wasn't home, but my wife told me that they've been like an hour.
These are photos of Hamadish Soleimani Afshar, identified as Soleimani's niece, and her daughter from their Instagram accounts. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he revoked their green cards, citing Afshar's vocal support for the Iranian regime and social media posts celebrating attacks on U.S. military personnel. Rubio saying on X that until recently, the two have been living lavishly in Los Angeles. In the post, he goes on to say the Trump administration will not allow our country to become a home for foreign nationals who support anti-American terrorist
So
regime.
let me get this straight. People love to get on social media and show out. Show what they just be itching to show how they are and who they are. You living over here, living good, living lavish, and you couldn't keep your mouth shut? You couldn't hold that under your breath? This is the upside. This is the good thing about social media that I think we don't talk about. Let people tell you who they are in real time. Let people show you and tell you who they really are. And the fact of the matter is, you're over here reaping all the benefits of America, but you support death to America? Like, my whole thing is, why people won't go home and just make they homes great again? If it's that. If it's like that. You know what I'm saying? If it's all great and grand, go home and make it great. Why? Because you can't do what you want to do in your own country. The perks of living in America are the perks. And that's why people continuously try to get over here. And I'm not even knocking nobody for it. But you should have some type of, the playground that you playing in, you should have a little more respect for it. Let's keep it going.
Say the two kept a relatively low profile. I mean, did you ever see them come by?
No, I never saw them.
From time to time we did. It wasn't all the time.
The world is a safer place without these monsters.
This is President Trump in 2020 after Soleimani was killed by a U.S. airstrike in Baghdad. DHS says his niece, Afshar, entered the U.S. in 2015 and obtained a green card in 2021. And the niece and grandniece right now of Soleimani are still in ICE custody, waiting removal proceedings from the U.S. Should also mention Afshar, the niece of Soleimani. Her husband is also barred from entering the country. Pre-live tonight, I'm Rachel Aragon. I'll send it back to you.
Rachel, is this a unique situation, or has the State Department pulled other people's green cards in relative to the Iranian conflict?
State Department also just addressing that soon. They said actually recently they also removed the legal status of a daughter of a high-ranking Iranian official as well as her husband. But as we heard right now from the department itself, they're calling, of course, a green status a privilege, and anyone posing any kind of threat, especially aligning themselves with the terrorist regime, runs that risk of having their status revoked.
You hate America, but yet you send your children, you send your family over here. So in my mind, I don't know if you are an insurgent or not. You know what I'm saying? No, they just like the perks. It's crazy that you can oppress your own people, but when it come down to your little family members, your children, your nieces, your nephews, they go to America and live this lavish life, live a blessed life, reap the benefits of my spoils. Like, come on, do we see the play? And I love what Marco Rubio is doing, because it shouldn't be tolerated whatsoever. I don't care who it is. It shouldn't be tolerated whatsoever. You want to be over here so bad, you better show that you got some type of American pride, or go back home. But I digress. Let's keep it going.
You know the details of what it can cost us, not just with 9/11, But just overall, it sows the seeds with other enemies like, well, maybe we can go to America after hating them and threatening to kill Americans and become an influencer. A new editorial with this headline: California should thank ICE for arresting Iranian terror generals' high-living relatives. And here's part of that. It is unusual for the families of America's sworn enemies to support the bad guys so openly while enjoying the California sunshine. Soleimani's relatives must have thought they were immune. After all, they lived in a sanctuary state. But as Rubio noted, Secretary of State, a green card is a privilege, not a right. And you cannot support America's enemies and expect to stay in the country. Charles.
Well, and I don't think the administration is holding their breath, waiting for a big thank you from Gavin Newsom, just like they wouldn't get one from Tim Walz or Governor Hochul in New York City. These sanctuary jurisdictions are actually more likely to take the side of those that have been deported, no matter their association or the reason why they were here in the country. So, look, we are one of the most lax countries in the world when it comes to our border and immigration policies. And we saw that to an extreme under the Biden administration. And now the Trump administration has a great deal of catching up to do through Marco Rubio at the State Department in terms of vetting.
I think vetting is very important. We should be looking through immigration with a fine-tooth comb. It should be leveled. Marco Rubio said, it is a privilege. It's not a right to be here in America. Unless you're an American citizen, you know? And so and I feel like all of this plays back into birthright citizenship, immigration. Like, we gotta put standards. We gotta raise our standards, because no one can do this in other countries. We've gotten too lax. Yeah, this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, but we move like we're scared. Like we're cowards, like we're scared of what the world is going to say. When we, in fact, run the world, we keep it going. And so I think that we need to change our policies surrounding immigration, surrounding these visas, these green cards, all this stuff. We need to revamp the whole system. But I like how Rubio is putting their feet to the fire. And he's doing it by the law, by the books. We got to respect it. Let's keep it going.
Amanda celebrated attacks on American soldiers, praised the new Iranian supreme leader, and denounced America as the Great Satan. DHS says that she entered the United States back in June 2015 on a tourist visa. She was granted asylum in 2019 and became a green card holder in 2021. Last year, when she applied for citizenship, she disclosed that she had taken multiple trips back to Iran since she was given that green card. And former National Security Advisor John Bolton was the target of a murder for hire plot believed to be retaliation for that 2020 drone strike that killed Qasem Soleimani. He reacted earlier today.
A claim that you're in danger in your home country is necessary to justify asylum. And if you can go back and forth between your country and the U.S., that certainly undercuts the idea that you're in danger.
And so we see that a lot of people will use the term asylum. I'm seeking asylum, but then you're going back home. But then you're sending you sending American dollars back over there. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. And we're gonna have to peel back some layers and look very closely when we're allowing people to enter this country, allowing them to seek asylum, allowing them to be naturalized citizens. We're gonna have to peel back the layers, because because I don't understand. I think we should be prioritizing and using our tax dollars to better the economy, to better the American citizen, not catering to anyone just simply because they're seeking asylum. They got the bread to the fortitude to actually come over here. I think that it's a slap in the face. It continues as we look. It continues to be a slap in the face. But sippers, y'all tell me how y'all feel about this whole situation. Is Rubio doing a hell of a job? Y'all let me know in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's your boy Mercy. I'm out.